道德经》。道德经。
How nicely you have been redecorating our room. No. Thank you for the decoration.
That's
How
right.
Well.
Yeah, I've been great. I am so excited about this. Yeah. It's been bubbling away, hasn't it, for well, since the start of the year, really. And yeah, we haven't managed to get the time in the diary for it, but we have now. And so it feels like it's real, and yeah, we're ready to share this project with the world.
It's so exciting to be like in a newly decorated house. Yeah? It feels as if this is the first day we're gonna live together.
Excellent. Well, so what are we going to do in this house?
Tell us how did we start this? Because people will want to know.
Yeah, as you know, I read a lot of books, and I read a couple last year. One was the Tao of Pooh, and off the back of that, I actually bought a copy of the Tao Te Ching.
Dàodé Jīng.
In fact, actually, I'm probably saying that wrong, aren't I? There is a correct way to say it, which you can probably do better.
Dàodé Jīng.
It struck me almost immediately how applicable this, thousands-year-old ancient wisdom, how applicable and how relevant that is to the work that we do.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
And I thought, this is definitely something which isn't a solo project. And when you reached out and said that you'd be interested in doing it together, I mean, there's no one more perfect than someone who used to be a monk many years ago.
Yeah. This is about the Dàodé Jīng without knowing anything whatsoever about it, right? We are reading the text as if it were a manual for Agile practitioners, and there is no knowledge about Taoism whatsoever required. This is about Agile.
Absolutely, yeah. It's how do we read that text and apply it into our context today. And I think, just to add, the reason why we're calling it a project is because whilst myself and Francis are very interested in conversing with each other around this, we want to make it much more of a community-based thing. So we want to invite people to join us in this dialogue, both online and in person. Later in the year, in November, we're going to have an event, a one-day event in London. But yeah, we don't want this to be just the two of us. We want this to be anyone that wants to come and have a conversation. No prerequisite, no prior knowledge required, other than knowing what Agile is all about.
So we want people to join us. So you could be joining us. Everyone can join us. And the idea is that we just read parts of the Dao Ching from start to end. Yeah, we can read through it, and for each little chapter, we're going to have a guest, an Agile practitioner, with whom we intend to have a conversation about the meaning of the text as we read it, not as it ought to be read. That's of no interest for us. Yeah, it's just as we read it, as we understand it, and as it is of use to us in our daily practice.
Yeah, absolutely. There's over 80 chapters, short chapters, but there's over 80 in the original text. And so this I guess the other thing as well that we intend to do that's worth sharing is that we want to collect all of these content, all of these conversations, all of these dialogues and trialogues where we have 3 people involved into a written version. So the intention is to have a book called the Dao Project at some point over the next couple of years, but anyone who contributes will be part of that project, will be referenced, and
Will be a co-author.
Exactly, co-authors. So whilst me and Francis will kind of pull it together, the content is certainly not unique or owned by us.
Yeah. So in brief, the Dao Project is a series of podcasts that we will just like release one after the other. Yeah. Each time with another guest. It's articles about these installments of the podcast. It's eventually going to be a book. It's going to be a traveling workshop. It's going to be a kickoff in London on November the 13th.
Absolutely. I think there's a couple of key things that we intend to, so there will be a conversational element there and some recordings, and I think that another piece is that, how can we develop a DAO for ourselves or our teams or our organizations and our communities? I think that's definitely something that we want to get out of that one-day event. So we'll be talking about the essentials of community barn or lungbang architecture. Did you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, Lungbang community rice barn, and the idea is that the surplus of rice harvest is being stocked on the second level, the second floor, and then underneath there is just a place of gathering for the community. So it's a community gathering under a surplus of ideas. So basically, our surplus of ideas is going to be Agile.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.